not the whatever, so that you're like getting like cold-ish tenders.
I've never heard of that before. But
there's one near my house, and every time I go to Whataburger at like 2 a.m. because I forgot to eat dinner, it's like a miserable experience.
Oh, that's so sad.
You know what else isn't a miserable? Actually, I was gonna say what isn't a miserable experience, but it's
being a frog.
It's Ness.
Being a frog
Ness
against
Ness. Ness is miserable. Austin is just really cool.
Yeah.
Austin's so cool.
So
I say as he PK fires 9 times.
This player matchup, Eclipse won most recently.
Interesting.
When they fought.
Oh, right. That was the week that he won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, player history-wise, this has been one of the most slanted, like, top player versus top player local matchups that has ever existed. Like, in 4, their set count history was, like, 10-0 or 10-1. It was
Good Lord.
ridiculous.
That's absurd.
That was just for, like, one season.
What was the PR rating difference between the two of them on average, would you say?
I mean, Eclipse was definitely, like, top 5.
Oh, okay.
And Awestin was #1 all the time.
Wow, that's a staggering difference in results between the two of them, considering how close they were then.
Yeah.
Like, if it was like Eclipse was like 9th and Awestin was definitely 1st, then that would make a bit more sense.
I feel like there was like a regular occurrence where Eclipse would just get 2nd or 3rd, and Awestin would get 1st, double eliminating Eclipse.
I also do want to point out that I watched Eclipse run away from Awestin and then roll back towards him, and I just want to take a brief second to talk about how awful it is getting off of platforms in Ultimate.
Yeah.
And how much, like, when you pay attention to the way that it affects matches, how, like, present it is even at, like, high and top levels.
It's kind of depressing. Hashtag bring back shield dropping, please.
I don't really care much for shield dropping. I just think that it should be more forgiving when I hold down on a platform that I go down.
See, I'm biased because I spent the last, like, year of 4 learning shield dropping because I hated Cloud.
See, I don't like shield dropping normally, but I think that the fact that Ultimate gives you, shield angle buttons makes it a lot more justifiable.
Right. Like, it's at least accessible at this point. It could have been the most accessible ever, and then they just don't give it to you.
Just go straight down with holding the shield thing. Yeah, but that's long and gone. What isn't gone is Eclipse's pressure. Even though he's behind a little bit, he's really, really content to just go in on Awestin and find his openings and just take them well, because Greninja's so good at low profiling everything and just getting around everything.
He's dead?
Yep.
Yeah, that was great DI. He almost survived.
That was crazy.
I feel like that last pummel was the difference between him living and dying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pummels matter, people.
Oh, for sure. I need to get better about doing it. I think that it's so easy to just be afraid that they're going to mash out even when they're at like 170.
Yeah.
When you should absolutely just be pummeling a few times just for the extra damage, because why not?
So... Oh my god, that's a scary spot to be in, but Eclipse...
PK Thunder is so scary. He got it anyway!
Awestin,
that was cool.
So that's... I didn't bat an eye at it because I've seen it so many times with these two playing in particular. Awestin is always ridiculous about somehow still surviving those situations.
I guess when you play, specifically Ness, for like a decade, you kind of like get in the habit of doing that.
You're like, I have seen ways to be gimped from first-hand experience that
from every character in the game.
Others haven't even imagined. Like,
yeah. Well, no other character can be gimped like Ness, right? Like, no other character can just have their up B hitbox stuffed out and then all of a sudden they don't go anywhere.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
Other than Lucas, obviously.
Yeah,
but.
People have just... No, Lucas can't even.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because his Thunder just goes through things.
What?
Doesn't cancel.
Thank God Ness's does it!
Yeah.
You know what else goes through things? Ness's neutral air.
It's a ridiculous move. Super good at
Why does that boy spin so hard?
Spin to win has always been a thing in Super Smash Brothers.
Well, it's because every nair is just a character spinning, and every nair that is a character spinning is just good.
Yeah, you know? Ness be spinning out here.
You either have the sex kick or you have the spinning air, and if it's the latter, you're probably a top tier.
Yeah. If it's the former, you could also be a top tier.
That's true. Or you could be like Sheik.
Yeah, there are circumstances that either you are a top tier or you are very mediocre.
Yes, precisely.
How much do they want to make this sex kick broken?
They've tried very hard before. What do you want to mean before? Ultimate Fox exists.
Yeah, Ultimate Fox definitely exists. Ultimate Wolf also exists.
Did you know that up tilt doesn't even 2-frame anymore? It doesn't combo into back air for the kill. The character's bad.
Haha!
That's my Fox main impression.
Good job.
Thank you.
You're really good at it.
I will never forget when Mars and Light Team did Low Tier City, and we're like low tier 1 or mid tier 1 and mid tier 2.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Okay, so this stage is actually really good for Greninja because of that.
Yep.
Exactly right there. He gets not
I
only
love that you didn't even need to explain it. He's like, let me demonstrate for you, kind sir.
Eclipse is sick because not only do you get all of the flatness of FD that exemplifies like how good it is that his jumps are ridiculous, but also like the platforms are high enough that some characters just like it doesn't matter that the platforms are there, but for Greninja the platforms are there to extend his ridiculous combos.
Absolutely. And I also want to draw attention to the fact that it's interesting watching Greninja do Hydro Pump just straight horizontal to get out of disadvantage on ledge. Like, I know that's not like new matchup tech, but it's interesting that Greninja is one of the only characters that like has that option to just be like, I can go straight sideways very fast with my up B.
And it works very specifically against Ness because he's so slow that he actually can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and so more specifically, PK Thunder's really slow.
Yeah.
PK Thunder's super active and it's big, but it can't chase in that same way.
Nice, he waited out the Thunder. He got dangerously close to it, too.
Ooh.
But he knew. Dash attack him into the fair.
I thought he was going to go for a back air, but doing fair there was way smarter because it was disjointed and challenged, you know, just also pushing a button.
Might have even caught DI in, but whew, rolling behind. Greninja just has terrible out of shield options, so a lot of the time after something hits their shield, they'll go for a defensive option.
Like roll away or whatever.
Yeah.
For those of you at home, Greninja's best, most consistent out of shield option is drop shield jab, which is frame 14.
Yeah. Frame 14, that's also the same frame as his grab. So like,
yeah. You have access to back air and up smash, I believe, but those cover very specific zones and aren't as consistent out of shield.
Yeah, they're like almost, like you have to make a really bad choice against Greninja on shield to get one of those as a punish.
Especially up smash, because it covers so, like, narrow a space.
Yeah.
Ah! Ooh, great parry.
So Eclipse had a pretty big lead, and Awestin just decided that that was not a thing anymore.
Awestin is very good at deciding when it's his turn to just play the video game.
The thing is, Greninja's a character that, like, when he's able to move and pressure, he's doing great. But when his movement is stifled and he gets stuck in shields, he's doing terrible.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing with this archetype, right? Like, in this game especially...
Oh, he's dead.
In this game especially, any character with high mobility generally tends to have poor out-of-shield options.
Yeah.
And the trade-off is less mobility, better out-of-shield options, and it sort of, like, scales in an almost linear way. But
and
like,
then we have Mario.
Yeah, Mario's the exception to the rule.
Mario cheats. He's a cheating character.
Yeah. What is, like, Squirtle's best out-of-shield option? Do you have any idea?
He probably has like a frame 7 out of shield option or something with forward air.
Yeah.
If forward air. That's me assuming forward air is frame 4, and that's like
reasonable, I'd say. It's probably like frame 6 though, so it's like 8 or 9.
Waterfall is probably something like.
Anyway, the specific numbers aside, characters like Squirtle, Sheik, Greninja, Joker.
Oh, Sheik has busted out of shield option.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, you have Nair, but she's Sheik, so.
Yeah. Sheik.
But like most characters in that archetype generally sacrifice the fact that I'm going to be able to, you know, just run all over the place whenever I need to, whenever I want to, for the ability, like when people are pushing buttons on me, all of a sudden now I have to find one of a very few limited options to.
Fox also doesn't have like the best.
Yeah.
It's like he has okay. They have okay at best out of shield options.
Like Nair out of shield is like fine, but it's not as good as like landing Nair. Like early Nair is not as good as late Nair.
Right, and the problem with like Nair's out of shield in this game that would have been perfectly serviceable in other games. Because of the way that the short hop works, even though they're a little bit faster now, because you reach max height so quickly, you end up just totally missing certain characters.
Yeah.